Going to unlock the secret this morning. I'm really excited about this one of sugar, because a lot of us, we like sugar, but it could make you sick. It definitely makes you fat. And according to a recent study, it could make you, well, it says dumb, but let me just say not as smart as you might be. The big question is, can a lot of sugar also cause diabetes, or is that genetic? Dr. Smarty, you make sure we get to the dumb one.
Well, the big question over here is that if you are taking too much sugar, can you get diabetes from this? And the short answer is absolutely not. But we'll get to details of this. When you take sugar, your pancreas is going to secrete insulin. Now, if you have a problem with getting insulin into your system, that's called type 1 diabetes. That's where the kids or juvenile diabetes. If you make the insulin, but somehow the receptors are not working, or as a result of belly fat or obesity that we've spoken about, insulin is not effective, that's the type 2 diabetes that we have in this country, the adult type. Now, one of the big issues that we have is that diabetes is on the rise, 24 million diabetic, but even more concerning is 79 pre-diabetics that are coming in. So, and we've said that sugar, Jamie, is your biggest enemy.
So let me just clarify for folks. You just said sugar does not cause diabetes, but it may cause obesity, which can cause diabetes.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Okay.
So
that's because I had the 4 cups of coffee you recommended last week.
Good. So I'm glad you're listening to this. So indirectly it can, but not directly. And also if you have family history, you're more susceptible to this. But I think the sugar is almost like a virus that has penetrated our whole life. You find it even in healthy diet, in cereals, in salad dressing, in bread, in many other things. Now, one of the things that I want people to look for is when you look for labels, don't just look for sugar. Look for anything that ends with OSE, fructose, sucrose, dextrose. If you look for high fructose corn syrup, that's a no-no. That's also a big problem that we see in processed food. All of these are sneaking up on us, and all you need is 6 to 8 teaspoons of sugar a day. You know how many we're consuming now?
Can we have 6 to 8?
You can. But you're getting it from a lot of different foods. We're consuming about 30 to 40 teaspoons a day, which is horrendous. And as a result, we're going to have all of this obesity and issues. So what I would tell people is stick to low glycemic index diet. You know, the rainbow diet that we talk about, the fruit and vegetables, berries, and also like the beans and other things, and stay away from all these processed food. That's really
So the more natural a food, Dr. Siegel, the better?
That plus exercising, Jamie, and changing lifestyle, because even though diabetes is essentially a genetic disease, it runs in families. You're more likely to get it if you have a genetic predisposition. Lifestyle plays a big role, and I want people out there to understand something about insulin. The pancreas is a motor that makes insulin. We're only born with a certain number of insulin receptors in our body. So if we gain weight, we have less receptors per surface area. You don't have enough receptors to do the work of allowing the insulin to push the sugar into the cells.
So the more sugar you eat, the more you're pushing those?
Right. Well, no. Look, sugar doesn't cause diabetes, but the more sugar you have, the more the liver turns it into fat, the more it gets absorbed by the cells. The bigger you get, the more you weigh, the less you have the receptors to pick up the insulin and absorb the sugar. What does that mean? It doesn't necessarily cause diabetes, because there's people out there that are very heavy that don't have it. But if you had the tendency to get it, and you don't have enough receptors, it's going to show up sooner and more easily. That's why you got to lose weight, you got to exercise, you have to have a better diet in order to stave off the diabetes if you had that tendency in the first place. I want to clear that up.
Okay.
Because you can be heavy and not get it.
Right.
You can be thin and get it. But it's all about how that insulin is working. And one last thing. Insulin resistance is also caused by being overweight, meaning that you have insulin, but it isn't working on the cells. And the pancreas wears out. It doesn't work as well after a while. And all the organs of the body, like the liver and the kidney, wear out when you have too much sugar. Very bad for you.
We have to move on because you have so many topics today. But the take-home message, 4 to 6 teaspoons, and keep in mind that it's in foods that may not label it as sugar. Look for OSE
yes.
at the end.
That's unbelievable.
I
I was in the grocery store and I looked at peanut butter.
Yes.
The second ingredient in peanut butter in one brand was sugar. I looked at whole wheat bread. It said fructose. So be careful of your sugar intake. Look at the instruct.
That is a great
look
tip
at the ingredients.